All right. Is Captain Marvel pissing off white men everywhere? And is it a good movie? And is it a girl power movie? We will discuss this in this episode of Did We Just Become Best Friends?
Okay, name your favorite dinosaur.
Velociraptor.
All right. If you were a chick, who's the one guy you would sleep with?
John Stamos.
What? Did we just become best friends?
What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 18 of Did We Just Become Best Friends podcast. We talk about sports, video games, movies, and whatever else is trending in the world. You can find us on all social media platforms at Did We Just Become Best Friends podcast or DWJBBF podcast. You can also call or text us at 872-225-2404. And if you leave a good enough message, you might hear yourself on the next episode. We always appreciate kind reviews on Apple Podcasts. Don't forget to hit that sub button. Don't forget to hit that sub button on YouTube with that bell notification so you don't miss any new episodes. And also follow us on Twitch. We're going to be going live on Twitch from now on. My name is Anthony, and the comic book fan with me is Alfredo. And we saw the newest MCU movie, Captain Marvel.
Yes, we did. I saw it twice.
Yeah, you saw it twice, which is insane. I think you saw it on opening day, and then again on Sunday, I think, or Saturday. I think it was Saturday, right?
Right, we saw it on actually Thursday.
Yeah, you saw it on
Thursday night, and then we saw it on Saturday again.
Yeah, so I saw it Saturday afternoonish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it was good. So before we get into like what we actually thought about the movie, this movie was causing a big old uproar with certain people. And by certain people, it's I don't know how to label them. I guess it would be the white men, but there's got to be like a label for like insecure, dumbass white men,
angry white men.
Yeah. So what had happened was Brie Larson was about to start her press tour, and she found out by looking at her schedule, it's nothing but men, And then she looked into it, it's like a bunch of white men. So she met with a doctor at a university. They did a research thing. And then they found out that, majority of of these movie critics and stuff like that are white men, especially older white men, mostly older. So she went out and she was like, hey, I want, to be more inclusive. I want, some more women if I could, some more, colored people, Hispanics, Black. She wanted to reach out to like the LGBT community. Have different people besides just white men. They rating her basically like your movie was good, your movie was bad. Like, well, the movie wasn't. It was for comic book fans, but the people who appreciated the most, I think, were especially little girls. I think they were the ones where like I can be like that. I never back down type of stuff. Like the girl power movie, like something like Wonder Woman. So what did they do in retaliate? They trolled Rotten Tomatoes. So Rotten Tomatoes is a website where audience and critics can review movies. Before the movie came out, they were already giving it horrible scores, saying, I don't want to see this. She hates white men and all this like craziness. They messed up this website so much that Rotten Tomatoes had to readjust their actual site. They had to change it so like you can't review a movie or pre-review a movie until the movie's out, because so many people were already hating on it before the movie even came out because of what she said. So opening weekend is already over, and it blew numbers out of the water. It was like, I think, one of the highest grossing Marvel movies. It was amazing. Number one.
500 million worldwide.
Yeah. So there was the big controversy. And you got, angry white men blaming her of why movies suck. There's an article I just saw today that this is especially if you saw the movie. I mean, you don't even need to see the movie. The tradition Marvel has of putting Stan Lee in movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
This one, he had a pretty good cameo, which we'll talk about. But somebody wrote, if Stan Lee was still alive, he would be disappointed what they did with Captain Marvel. And then all the Twitters were like, he's in the movie, right? You know, he saw majority of the movie before he died. He was like, he knew where it was going. And like, and if anybody is gonna go there, it's gonna be Stan Lee. I mean, that's the whole point of X-Men was like, you know, was back in the day, it was like, you know, the anger, you know, African American people were getting in America. He wanted to kind of do the same thing, but he goes, well, what if, you know, mutants replace the black people in America? And he made basically the same thing. I mean, he's a guy that I was like, that was the stupidest thing. And that's what you get. You get dummies. You know, I'm like, I'm like, if anything, you're proving the point on why she doesn't want stupid white men interviewing her about this, you know, girl power movie. So
can we just like say the fact that, you know, she's just trying to pave the way like Wonder Woman did all these years on the DC side? You know, because Wonder Woman was the only superhero that I knew growing up, and I believe my sisters. I never knew Captain Marvel was a woman. I never knew Captain Marvel existed until the end of Infinity War.
Yeah.
When he had that page, because I was like, who the hell is that? You know, so I mean, it wasn't until then I realized Captain Marvel was an actual female. But yeah, all she's trying to do is pave the way, give, you know, the whole movie. If, you know, I don't want to ruin anything, if you listen to it closely and read between the lines, it's more for like women based, you know, strength and women, and you know, you don't need to keep up, you don't need to prove anything or anything. You stick together, you do what you got to do, and keep going.
Yeah.
So I mean, by her saying that, I don't think, you know, the society got too sensitive. But
it's on both sides. People always say it's like the liberals and the snowflakes. Listen, it's the jackasses on both sides. You know, everyone gets super offended by anything anybody.
Well, of course.
You know, it's not the conservatives, it's not just the liberals, it's everybody. Like,
well, I agree, but then again, it's, you know, somebody takes it more harder than the other, so they retaliate by something even worse or even out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
You know, it's nonsense. It's just complete nonsense, guys. You know, just read the comic books, enjoy the movie, and shut the hell up.
Yeah. I mean, me being a white guy, you know, I enjoyed the movie. I liked the movie a lot. Was it the best Marvel movie out of, I believe this is the 21st Marvel movie? No. You know, no. For me, no.
Yeah, I actually think it's 22nd.
Is it 22nd? But
well, give me a sec.
I mean, right now. It wasn't. It's somewhere in the middle for me. It wasn't the worst. But it wasn't the best. You know, it was about average.
Right. Well, actually, you're right. It is 21.
21. Yeah. I mean, it's right in there, 10-ish. You know, the top 10, barely. You know, if it makes it. You know, but that's just me. You know, just because I did know the character, because I'm a big comic book person, and the people who don't know, her name wasn't always Captain Marvel. Her name was Miss Marvel. So I don't know if you remember that in, like, I don't know if you watched the X-Men cartoons back in the day. She had the black leotard with the S, like the gold S down her.
Yeah.
You know, that's Captain Marvel. You know, now Captain Marvel. Originally, right. Captain Marvel. This is where everything gets all crazy. Captain Marvel was Shazam. So Shazam, he wasn't Shazam. He was Captain Marvel. And I don't know exactly what happened. I think they lost the rights, or they didn't renew the copyright for Captain Marvel, and then Marvel swooped in and like, nope, that's ours now. So so they had to rename Captain Marvel Shazam, and then they had to, and now Miss Marvel became Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
Yeah. But now even then, she changed her look. She changed her origin story a few times. But I'm never a big fan. She's not like, she's not on the same level as Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is like up there. Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. You know, like the Holy Trinity. You know, like Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel is like a C-list at best. You know, I mean, the best thing that ever happened to Captain Marvel or Miss Marvel was Rogue stole her powers. That's the best thing that's ever happened to that character before this movie. I'm talking about like leading up to this movie and stuff like that. She wasn't an interesting character, but Marvel's good at taking non-important characters and blowing it up. No one knew Guardians of the Galaxy. I barely knew who they were. I know it was a talking tree, talking raccoon, you know, and then a couple dudes. and a chick.
Right.
You know, I mean, and I kind of had the premise of what they were doing, but I didn't follow them. You know, like I did for like Wolverine and Cap and Iron Man and Thor. But even Iron Man wasn't that big before Robert Downey Jr. You know, now in the comic book, he's a major comic book character.
I remembered when you first heard Iron Man was being made, and I remember.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You were so pissed off that Robert Downey Jr. was there. He's like, "Oh, that's gonna suck. That's it." That's, and you literally had your hands like this. No, that's stupid. That sucks. They ruined it. And when it came out, you're like, "Wow, it was so good." And he was a great actor.
Yeah,
he is a great actor.
He is. I mean, he always was. I just thought like the last few things he was in before Iron Man, like drugs, man. The drugs got to him, and I'm like, man,
but he cleaned up. I mean,
wow, holy crap! Talking about second chances.
Ooh, that was a huge chance.
Yeah. But
so, I don't think Captain Marvel's gonna be below top 10. I mean, I'm looking at the list of MCUs. Okay, so Guardians of the Galaxy, out of the 21, that's my least favorite.
Wait, what?
Part 2, Volume 2. I'm sorry.
Okay, number 2 didn't do as well. I enjoyed it more, but it with the critics, it didn't do as well as number 1.
Right. Iron Man 2, I didn't like. Iron Man 3
was even worse. Iron Man 3 was horrible.
Yeah.
Thor 1 and 2 were horrible.
Thor 1 and 2. I like 1, 2, and 3. Well, I like 3. I think 3. Awesome. 3 I like better than 2. And then you got the Civil War, Avengers Infinity War. Those are the ones I like.
Oh yeah.
Along Guardians of the Galaxy. Captain America, okay, I see maybe 7, 8. Captain Marvel is going to be a little bit above Captain America because I like how the throwback, the uniqueness, everything there. I mean, she was witty at times. You see, this is the reason why I watched it twice. Not only because it was a good movie. The first time I watched it, I paid attention to it, and there was little things that I know I was overlooking. Second time, I knew what's going to happen more or less, but now I was paying attention to her and to the surroundings, you know. And now that I watched it the second time, I'm like, okay, just like the first time I saw it, she looks like a slow runner. So whenever she ran, she looked very slow.
What the hell? That was the weirdest running, dude. And I heard that from a bunch of critics. And I'm like, right, I'm not the only one. She runs weird. Like,
she runs weird. She runs slow.
And they caught since we're talking about running, Samuel L. Jackson has a big thing about not running in movies. And they caught him running. He ran in this movie. Which is like it's like a John Wayne getting, being a bad guy or dying type of thing, It's like a thing that you never see in movies was Samuel L. Jackson running or semi-running.
Right. I mean, okay, so I compared it. Okay, yeah, she runs weird. She's witty. That's the second thing I learned from the second time I watched it. She's a little witty. She has a little attitude, and she's like more of a smart ass.
Yeah, for sure.
Really,
I can see that.
Yeah. And the third thing, I'm like, wow, she's actually pretty attractive now that I pay closer attention to her. Yeah, I'm not saying she's a full-blown 10, but I'm saying
a basic white girl. That's how I.
Yeah.
The big thing was her butt. There is a big not controversy, but there's a lot of talk about her butt. They're like, how does Spider-Man's butt, Tom Holland, look way better than Brie Larson? I'm like, because she doesn't have an ass. Right. But I mean, that's not the point of everything.
He should have had a butt double and put Olivia Munn in there.
Oh God, Olivia Munn got a negative ass. She don't got no. But I mean, that's not to me. Is like that wasn't the point of the movie. And I think if you got somebody who was very overly attractive, I think that might have changed it a little bit. Because the old outfit was just that black leotard, and in the comics, she's got like these massive, breasts and this huge booty, and that's not what they were gonna go for,
right?
Which I don't, that's not. I mean, she's not ugly, but
no, she's not ugly. But I mean,
basic white girl.
Yeah,
a few dozen other white actresses look just like her. Yeah, she's not nothing special. She's a good. I think she's a pretty decent actress.
Yeah.
Actual acting, pretty good.
I don't know if you're keeping count, but this is the second movie Brie and Samuel had together.
What was the first one?
Come on, Kong.
Kong?
Yeah.
I didn't watch that.
Yeah, they were both in that movie.
Were they? I didn't watch that.
Yeah.
That thing looked like trash.
Dude, with Loki. Loki was in that movie also.
Yeah, I remember him being in the trailer.
Dude, it's Kong is good. You have to watch it.
Okay.
Yes, give it a shot. And once again, stick to the end, but now it's on DVD, so fast forward it to the end. And there's gonna be like a little thing to the future movie that's actually coming out this summer.
Oh really? Yeah.
Godzilla.
Okay. Yeah, I know the Godzilla is gonna be like the monster stuff. So there's gonna be a bunch of
Mothra,
monsters. Yeah. I didn't know they were in that together. But talking about them together though, their interactions, like them bouncing off of each other, was so well done. I'm like, they worked really well together. And I don't know if it was because it was a different Nick Fury. You know, it was like I mean, he still saw some stuff, you know, just by his stories, but he didn't see her level, like, you know, outer space, and, you know, powers and stuff yet. But yeah, they were going back and forth, and they were really good together. I enjoyed them.
The chemistry was well. Yeah. The chemistry was really good with them.
That's why I wonder how she's gonna be with like the Captain America. That's my biggest concern, is like, how is she gonna interact with Captain America? Because it's gonna be 20 years has passed, over 20 years has passed. You know, she's for sure saw some crap. You know, Cap saw a bunch of crap. Technically, he's older than her, and she's, you know, probably the second oldest person there. Well, minus Thor, he's a god. Mm-hmm. But I mean, so it's gonna be interesting to see, like, you know, them, like, they're both people out of their time. You know, like, she's a person that was, you know, from the 80s, really. You know, she went missing in 1989. So. Like, she never knew what the 90s were, you know, until she came back.
89 or 95? Yeah, 6 years.
It took
89,
place. Yeah,
it took 89 to 96. Yeah. In 96, that's when everything is happened.
Yeah, it takes place in, is it 95 or 96? Like the mid 90s, right there, stuff like that. But
no, it had to be 95. Yeah, because in 96, Iron Man pops up.
But, oh yeah. Jeez, was it that soon? After?
Mm-hmm. Wow. And when we talk about the spoiler part, I'll reveal more about it. I don't want to ruin it right now for the people who didn't see it.
Well, that's when Iron Man pops up in the universe, right? Because the movie didn't come out in 96.
No, of course not.
So that's when he shows up in the
MCU world.
In the time. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, in the MCU world.
So I don't know. I mean, I feel like the trailers did a good job explaining everything without ruining everything, which is a hard thing, because I think a lot of trailers, pretty much, that's the whole movie. You know, Marvel does a really good job at hiding things though in their trailers. You know, with Infinity War, they hide all the stones, you know, in the gauntlet. They showed Hulk, and he never was in the movie, you know, besides in the beginning. So they did a pretty good job at things, but there were things that if you did read comic books, you knew what were coming,
right? You
know, so I was like, yeah, and certain interactions that I can't wait to see going forward. And I'm like, oh, it's gonna be so good. But yeah. I mean, overall, the movie was good. The de-aging thing on Samuel L. Jackson, that was, man. I think there was one part where it was like a quick frame when he was like moving. They were all like running and moving fast, where it kind of looked a little weird, but for the most part, I was like, dang. I mean, how is it like? And plus, I mean, he's 72 years old, and he still looks like he's 50.
Yeah, he looks like he hasn't aged.
No, you know, so
that dude, man, he must have drank a lot of tiger blood or something.
Yeah, right.
Because Nick Fury is a real shit.
Yeah. And then Coulson was in it. I was a little disappointed with the amount he was in it. I was hoping he was in it a little more.
Well, we'll get to that in a little bit.
Yeah, I did enjoy him, Clark Gregg. And then also, he called out all the toxic fans too. You know, all the people angry, all the haters. He goes, don't watch the movie. We don't want you to watch the movie. You know, it's like, we don't care about you. You know, we want people that want to empower each other. That's the whole point of all these movies, is helping each other, empowering each other. You know, it's like, oh, here's a strong woman. You know, because there are strong women in the world. You know, right. You know, and his little thing, it came out the other day, and I was like, oh, I liked it. he's a very good person. And then he does on the Agents of Shield, which is primary. Like there's 3 women on there. That's the smartest. One of the smartest people in the world is a woman. You have the I forgot her name, but the Asian girl. She's like this super badass spy. And then you have
Right.
Chloe Bennett, who's like the mutant, who's like pretty much the star. So you have like 3 major women characters that he has to play next to. So if anybody knows like powerful women, it's definitely him.
Yeah. You notice it. Boil her up. No, I'm just kidding.
the hate train.
The hate train, right? Stupid white guys. Anyways. You notice? Oh shit! What the hell was I gonna say now? What was I gonna say? Oh no, it wasn't about the time of Coulson. We were just discussing it. What were we just discussing right now?
But like him working with the women.
Oh yes, thank you. March 8th was International Women's Day.
Yeah.
Was it curiosity that it got released the same weekend?
Oh, maybe. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, it was the 8th, which was Friday, and that was opening weekend for Captain Marvel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
One for me.
Yeah. So, I don't know. There were things I did not like about the movie. One being, it was based in the 90s, and I wish they would have just put like, because to me it's like they literally pointed at a Radio Shack. And then like when you point at Radio Shack, oh my god, I remember Radio Shack.
Yes,
it was,
everybody in the theater laughed.
But that's not how you do it. That's not how you put somebody in that time. You just don't point at a bunch of shit that reminds you of when you were 10 years old. I was like, it's like you're literally pointing out the obvious, and at that point,
Right.
you're kind of taking. I was like, there's things you could have done that would have made it like, I get it, like all the details. You don't have to point out, Radio Shack and Blockbuster.
Well, just like how she made the communication device.
Yeah.
I don't know if you took a quick look, but in the background there was a Game Boy. And when I saw that, I'm like, holy really, a Game Boy?
Yeah.
And then the poster she blew up was a True Lies poster.
Yeah.
With it was a Schwarzenegger and I can't remember the other girl, but
that's fine. But then
little, I understand what you're saying. You don't have to really point out. If the guy would have said, "Oh, there's an electronics store down the street," and then she appeared at Radio Shack, okay, yeah, that fits better. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I know they hammed up certain parts, like they plugged in the black box and it took like 10 minutes for it to load. I was like, okay. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's not how that's how the internet probably worked, But like, yeah, spoiler if you're less than 20 years old. Internet loaded.
That's
so, yeah,
funny.
I mean, the little things like that I didn't mind. The biggest ones were in the trailer. Obviously, you see the cat. You see Samuel L. Jackson, Nick Fury, petting the cat. I feel like though a lot of the moments, like those moments in particular, were forced. They're like it seemed like they finished filming and then the director was like, "Oh, we need something funny here," and they just like squeezed that in there. I was like, it didn't. That was the thing is like all the bad things didn't get me out of the movie, but I did notice him, and it was like stuff like that. I was like that's when did Nick Fury ever be a cat guy?
Well, that's the thing. We all know
where did cat come from. It's like they never said like
that was my question. Now
yeah.
I don't know. Should we just start discussing about it
in a bit?
Okay, but I think they were just trying to show because the Nick Fury we all know before this movie, he's a hardcore badass, doesn't take crap from nobody, and he's always serious. So I guess this is to happen like way back when he had a softer side. He wasn't always that uptight and serious. He was a fun going guy, and with the soft side. So I think that's what they try to project that, like, hey, he wasn't all serious all this time. He was this, it was
or maybe he likes animals more than people.
Possibly,
because there's a lot of people like that.
I mean, a lot of people like animals more than people.
Yeah, exactly.
In this day and age,
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I didn't mind it. It was a little much. But yeah, my thing was like I'm like, where did he come from? Like, I get the cat's in there in the comics and stuff like that. And in the comic books, they call it's not Goose. They did the whole Goose because she's Air Force. In the comic book, the cat's name is Chewie for Chewbacca. But they didn't want to do that, and I was like, why? You own Star Wars. You could have done it without like even like worrying about anything.
I think they're just trying to separate it. They have one category and here's another. Let's not try to
cross them.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know.
Let's not mix the money, guys. Let's not put it in one pot. This is yours. This is mine.
Yeah, I don't know, but I mean, I didn't mind the name change. It was like I'm like, I get it. Air Force Pilot, Goose, and Iceman and Maverick and all that cool stuff.
I was waiting for that. I kind of figured that it's what it was, but I'm like, man, what are the odds?
It was also when did Top Gun come out? It was 80s, wasn't it?
Yes.
So Top Gun would have been
88, I believe.
Yeah. So they don't say it's her cat, and she doesn't act like it's her cat. In the comic book, it's her cat. So like she didn't care about it, she didn't even recognize it. So that's why I'm like, who brings a cat to their secret agency secret base? It's like that's what I'm like trying to think. I'm like, it was a little out of place for me.
May 16th, 1986, Tom Cruise was released.
Yeah, so it would have been 9 when she left. But yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the CGI was pretty cool.
It was actually very cool, especially that part.
Yeah, the end. I mean, there's the whole climax and stuff like that. It was really well done, I thought. Yeah, the one thing, Ben Mendelsohn, the guy who played Talos, who is the bad guy Skrull.
Yeah.
I know you say you didn't notice it. I noticed it, and like when I was reading a bunch of reviews, I guess a bunch of critics noticed it. The prosthetics made them sound weird, and I couldn't help from hearing it every time. It was just like somebody's holding down your lip. And then that's what it kind of sounded. It wasn't like too bad, but it was like, why do you sound weird? I'm like, oh, maybe it's because you have 5 pounds of prosthetics on your chin. I was like, why didn't they just redub that? I mean, they could do it and it'll sound perfect. I mean, they did it with like freaking all these other actors. Right. I was like, why did they leave?
Was it just him? Was it just Mendelsohn?
Well, he's really the only one that talked. His engineer guy talked a little bit, but he was really the only Skrull that really talked, through the movie.
Okay, so I think that was just him.
It might be. I mean, he is Australian, and he kind of has a lisp.
I think he was just him because when he played that character, and then he played the Skrull. I guess he just wanted to just show how good he is, or how the Skrulls change to sound human, to sound like their voice.
Yeah.
That's my guess to it. That's my thinking, my thought. But you're right, because if it sounded bad, the technology nowadays, I mean, hell, he could easily dub it over.
Yeah.
And making himself sound good.
Yeah. Or maybe they were just trying to save a little bit of money. I don't know. I doubt it, but so before we get into spoilers, anything else you want to non-spoilery?
Non-spoilery.
So before we get into spoilers, 1 out of 5, what do you give it? 5 stars, 1 star.
1 out of 5. Let's see. I'm giving it 4. I'll give it a 4.
Give it a 4?
Yeah. It wouldn't be technical. 4.2538.
Yeah, I'll probably 50, be it 2.53, 2.5 and 3. I'm right about there.
What?
Yeah,
2.5 to 3.
That's why when you said you were gonna see it again, I was like, really? It wasn't that good. I'm like, it was good. I'm like, because it didn't. Well, spoiler warning. Anybody who's listening, spoiler warning.
Let's just cut into spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers. We're going to it. It didn't do anything to add to the MCU story. It didn't do anything. They could have just thrown her in Endgame, and that was it. Like, I don't think anybody would have been lost.
I think I would have been lost because remember, not everybody read comic books. The only comic books we read, it's the ones that actually came to life and pictured, and that was me, I was one of them.
Which is fine.
So,
but she has to explain who she is to the rest of the team. That's enough information. That's it. Like, oh, I worked with Nick Fury in the 90s and he helped me become a superhero. Boom. 2.5 hours summed up in one sentence. Like that. Like, you don't know. You don't need to see it. She's gonna explain who she is to Cap and
then of course there's gonna be follow-up questions. Just like Hulk. Or you can sum that up. You can sum every story up, every superhero up in one sentence or two.
Oh yeah.
No more than a 3-sentence, 4-sentence paragraph. But no, they want to know the details on how and how come you got it, and they don't. I mean, one of the things about Captain Marvel that I really enjoyed, it seemed like 2 superheroes merged into one and became a female, which is basically Iron Man and Thor.
Yeah.
So that's what
kind
it
of Captain
like
America too. The whole military soldier fighter guy.
Yeah,
because that whole like never backing down, that we saw that before in Captain America. He gets punched, he stands back up. A little weak man. Same thing. You have a woman keeps getting pushed down or falling down, and she back up.
She's just clumsy. She didn't know how to drive in a go-kart, right? She missed the rope.
And she's
what else? It was something with the skateboard and the bicycle. Yeah, that's just a clumsy little kid. She had no choice but to get up.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just feel like so the Tesseract is in it, but we didn't need to know. Like, we already knew that it was found at the bottom of the ocean and SHIELD got it. We didn't need anything in between. They threw stuff in between. It was not necessary. Because we knew where it was at since the 50s or 40s. After World War II.
Right.
So it was like, nothing was too. That's why it didn't lead the story into another way. It just introduced a new character, which you don't need to do that, because Civil War did that with Black Panther. You at the end of Civil War, you knew who Black Panther was. You didn't need his movie. You already knew who he was. You already knew he's a king. He has this crazy technology, and he's a superhero. Boom. Next movie. You didn't need to have a whole movie to explain it. They've done it before, where they introduced characters, in a movie. Spider-Man. They introduced 2 characters in Civil War. Spider-Man and Black Panther. So it was unnecessary. That's what.
In Civil War, they never explained how Black Panther got his powers. Hey, how the hell are you running just as fast as Cap is? How are you keeping up with a Lexus and a Harley Davidson? We don't know that. Is it the suit? Is it himself? We don't know. Same thing with Spider-Man. He came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
All Iron Man said, "Oh, I had recruited him or something." How did Iron Man find him? That was another thing. That's a hole that. Was he in his limo? Was he driving and then he saw a fucking kid swing down the street? I don't know.
But those are, I don't know. Those are like little details that obviously got explained in their own movies.
Right.
But if Black Panther, because Black Panther played a big role in the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
It's because they're changing the universe. They're changing the whole comic book universe or the movie universe. So this movie really didn't change anything. Because as soon as she found out she was this badass, she's like, "Hey, I'm gonna take off for a little while and help these these people."
Right.
So it was like, okay, cool. So that's why I was like, so it was.
Okay, so couple of things real quick first with the black box.
That's why I was like,
hold on. Sorry, my bad.
For myself.
Yeah. So with the black box, they show the storyline, which is awesome because oh, I got a black box and la 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 la. So we don't know what actually happened, or she didn't know what actually happened until then. When they cut away the scene, and I've asked people about this, I got the same answer, so I want to know if you got that answer. When they cut away the scene, everything in that plane happened in the black box. When the plane crashes, everything that happened out of the plane, there's no black box. Once the plane crashes, that's it. Black box stops, pauses, recording. You don't hear anything else.
I mean, yeah.
Now,
go ahead.
Now, how does she know that Jude Law, which is Jan Rog, I believe his name was the bad guy? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then she storms out of a cabin saying, I didn't know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So what's your answer to that question?
Well,
if she wasn't able to see what happened and the black box finished at that point?
See, but you're using real life smarts, which movies don't use real life actions. So like my thing was like the black box recorded everything. It recorded all their voices. It recorded her whispering to Brie Larson's ear. It recorded Jude Law walking down a mile of smoke. Like it picked up all the bumblebee down 5 blocks away. Like it picked up all the audio. That was my thing. Because I know in real life, like once it crashes and all that, you get all that I think it's the shake. I forgot what triggers it to like turn off. But I know it does turn off.
Right.
So, but it's just movie magic, Same thing with like bats. You don't hear bats flap, and when you watch Batman, all you hear is you hear all the flapping around. So it's just movie stuff, and that's why I just assumed that it just recorded all the audio of the whole thing. Jude Law like oh, we're gonna take her, like although that's what my thing was like. I thought about it too, but I was like, I didn't think that. Like it picked up everything, I mean, it's a freaking ship that was supposed to like break the speed of light or the time barrier, space barrier, whatever the hell. So I was like, all right, well, normal things are out the window by this point.
Right.
She's riding on an Infinity Stone power thing, basically.
Right. So the thing that I keep asking people that, and I got the same answer. After she heard all that, it jogged her memory, and everything came back. Once everything came back, that's what she remembers. So that's one. The second thing is when Agent Coulson kept referring, what was the shield? Something security, homeland, enforcement, whatever.
Yeah.
Nick Fury said, "Oh, here at Shield, we take everything seriously or whatever."
Yeah.
Okay, so why did Agent Coulson never use Shield at first? Then Nick Fury did.
I didn't even think about that.
So okay. My theory, remember when Fury said, oh, he just joined us, he's a rookie, he's a new guy, he's only been for 3 months. So Fury's been there for a while now. Fury's the one, I believe, created S.H.I.E.L.D. If not, he's the one abbreviated it. So he called it S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, he didn't create S.H.I.E.L.D. It was created after Captain America died. So Howard Stark and Peggy Carter, they're all the ones that started S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay, great point. So now Agent Coulson comes around. He's a new guy. He doesn't know. So now he's naming this whole...
Name the whole...
Yes. He meets Iron Man. He meets Iron Man's... Pepper
Potts.
Thank you. He mentioned the whole name like 2-3 times until the very end of that movie. He's like, oh, just call it S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
So my point is, I'm thinking... Nick Fury heard this guy. I'm like, why are you saying all that? Just say it's S.H.I.E.L.D. What the fuck, rookie? What the hell, rookie?
Yeah, just telling a rookie to say. So, you don't have to say the official name.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's my theory on that. Just in
Yeah.
case you
I
viewers are wondering.
didn't even catch it because I think he only did that in the first Iron Man. That was even
He
like
did.
halfway. Yeah, by the end of it, he was like, "Oh, just call it Shield."
He did.
So my biggest, one of my biggest things, or well, maybe two biggest things, was how cringy and like that the last, not the last fight, one of the last fights where she fights her team, and no doubt, you know, was it I'm Just a Girl comes on, and I was like, I get it, I understand. It's too on point, and it makes it kind of like, ugh, you know, it's kind of like it was really cringy, you know. And I heard that a lot. I heard that a lot from other people. I was like, yeah, like, you know, 90s ska music is not the best fighting music, you know. It's like, and it hit the nail on the head too perfectly, where it just felt a little uncomfortable, you know.
Well, was that one of the songs at that time? I believe it was. I'm not 100% sure.
Definitely. No Doubt was huge mid 90s.
Yeah.
There
was no doubt.
Yeah.
There wasn't, yes. But
yeah, before she sold out.
Yes. Before she sold out. But I'm thinking since that was the type of music, they weren't going to, I don't know, play
No, I mean, yeah.
Pink, you know, any song from Pink.
No.
You know, Moulin Rouge.
No. But I mean, you could have played a cool, it didn't have to stay 90s. Like if everything stayed to 90s. I was like, you could have played a cool like Janis Joplin, you know, song, like you know, like a cool like rock female like kick-ass song, you know, because like I'm Just a Girl. But then that's another thing, is like her team never was like, oh, you're a girl, you can't fight with us, you know, because like they had like the other chick who was like a sniper who was like kicking ass and a badass, you know. So it was like that song didn't quite fit that moment, because I'm like, yeah, she's a girl, but that's not the problem she's having, you know. The problem she's having is like she was a weapon, you know. So I was like,
yeah,
and then I don't know. It didn't, like I said, it didn't ruin the movie, but it was just like I sat there, I was like, really?
And, you know, it's weird now that you mention that. She reminds me of Rudolph, the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Didn't let her play with any reindeer games because they kept going on missions and they said no to you, no to her. And then right at the beginning of the mission, you know, she's like, okay, there they are. I'm gonna go get them. No, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
It's like, motherfucker, I want to go kick some ass. Why don't you let me do it?
Yeah. Well, at the time you didn't know. You thought like, oh, she wasn't ready, you know. You know,
she didn't know how to control her power or whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
And then talking about controlling power, that's what another thing that really, really bugged me was like they never explained what her powers were or are, and they just kind of manifested, and then all of a sudden she's flying and farting lasers and shit, you know. And then she's having this mind battle with you know, was it the Supreme Ed thing?
Yeah. What was it?
Supreme Intelligence. Yeah.
Intelligence. Yeah.
So that was a little. It was like they're having like a laser, you know, shooting each other battle, which was like that I didn't mind too much because it was like a whole mind, head thing. But it's like then she just ripped it off and she became like, you know, super badass. In the comic book, it's called she goes binary. That's her binary mode, is when she glows and stuff like that. They didn't really call it that. They didn't even call her like Captain Marvel or anything.
No.
But I just wish like in the beginning of the movie, like she went like berserker, you know, she went like that, and then he had to like knock her out, like Jude Law had to knock her out, and like, oh, we need to control this, and then they put it on, you know. And I get, you know, they don't want to spoil it, but it was like you could have had a flash of like of her like being awesome, and then them just taking it away, you know, because then they kind of just like, okay, like, so why didn't she just rip this fucking thing off a while ago? She goes, hey, I'm gonna go crazy, you know, and kill everyone real quick and rip it off and go. I don't know. That's what it was like. I think.
Well, when I'm done killing people, I'm just gonna you know,
just
put it back on. Yeah, Yeah, I gotta control my power.
You know, like they could do a blow dart and hit it back on her, like, you know, neck.
A blow dart.
But yeah, her powers were very ill defined, you know, and it's what I didn't care for. It's like she just like takes the thing off, and then they only show the thing one other time in the movie before she takes it off. You know.
Yeah, they showed it like 2 times. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like there's certain things that they could have explained better, and I feel that was not the acting; it was more the script. You know, the script and the director. You know, so. You know, like I said, it didn't ruin the movie for me. It didn't I'm like out of the movie, like I can't get back in it. But it was things I'm like really. I was like, I wish you would have told us the story a little bit better.
Yeah. I'm not familiar with the story, so whatever I see on a big screen, that's what I see.
Yeah.
But
I mean, if you know something stupid, then you don't need to know the backstory to know like whatever's happening at that moment is stupid. You know. You know, so. Like she wasn't a big comic book character. She was very, very kind of barely being used back in the comic books again.
Right.
Like she was in Civil War 2 in the comic books, or her versus Iron Man. But yeah, she's not Wonder Woman status. And I think she was trying to be. Brie Larson was like, "Hey, I'm gonna be Wonder Woman. You know, we're gonna be Wonder Woman girl power." And I was like, Captain Marvel's not like that.
Sorry, we already saw Roma and The Favorite. It's okay. We don't need another girl power movie. We had enough in the Oscars.
No, dude, I don't mind that. Seriously, I do not mind girl power movies. I love seeing the movies where like women are like badasses and just kick ass. You know, it's like I like that, but a lot of them are done crappy. You know, like what's that movie with Scarlett Johansson? It was based off of anime, Ghost in the Shell. Like awesome cartoon, love the cartoon. It's one of my favorite animes. Horrible movie, you know. Like, you know, that's why when Wonder Woman came out, it was done so well, you know, and it made a strong female character. Hopefully,
it was done well, actually. What happened?
I hit a button by accident. My water bottle fell.
Oh. But yeah, I mean, I like Wonder Woman. It was really good. I mean, that's why when I kind of saw this, the show is about to begin. I see.
Yeah.
I saw it. So anyway, yeah, I do agree. I think this is like the MCU's version of Wonder Woman. I'm not sure. I mean, there's a lot of foreshadowing. And it's especially towards the end. She's flying in space, glowing.
Yeah.
Guess who she's gonna run into in space? Who got stranded in outer space? Right at the end of Infinity War.
You know? Yeah. That's a big thing everyone's talking about, you know, is she gonna find Tony Stark? You know, because that'd be like one thing. It'll be like make her just even more powerful. Like, oh, she saved Mr. Badass, you know, which I would love that, you know. But then a lot of people are saying like, no, it will take away on how badass and MacGyver-y, you know, Tony Stark is. I don't know if they do that. I would love to see like her saving, you know, Cat or Iron Man and Nebula. You know, that'd be really cool.
So what did you think on how Nick Fury lost his eye?
I disappointed.
So was I.
I knew it was coming just by the way him and the cat were interacting and stuff like that. I was like, I was at least hoping. So obviously the cat is an alien.
Obviously,
yeah. You know, after it sucks up the Tesseract and has like these tentacles that come out. I thought maybe a tentacle was gonna come in and like smack him in his eye or some shit. I didn't expect a cat scratch. I was like, oh, really?
Yeah,
like, Mr. Badass, spy by kitty scratch.
And it's funny in Captain America because remember I watched that movie before we saw Captain Marvel. In Captain America, you see he has 3 scratches up here, 3 scratches below. I'm like, oh, okay, that fits perfect, I guess. You know. So that's pretty amazing how they try to keep it in line.
Yeah.
So that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, but I was a little disappointed. I was like, I thought it should have been something different. It should have been something.
Yeah, I think so. And remember, because when he said that he lost his eye because he trusted the last time he trusted somebody, he lost an eye.
Yeah.
Now, when he was in that car accident with Agent Coulson, but he was actually the scroll.
Yeah.
And he was sitting on that table and he had that eye patch over there. I'm like, okay, he trusted somebody. That's how he lost an eye. But that wasn't the case at all.
No.
All he did was got some stitches on top or what have you.
Yeah. Oh, that was another thing before we got finished up was so the Skrulls wind up being the good guys. They're peaceful refugees. So why the hell was one trying to kill like Captain Marvel when she was talking to Nick Fury for the first time? He's like, "Yeah, why don't we go down to the office?" And then one like shoots a laser and she like starts chasing after him. I was like, wait, but then like an hour later you say you guys are peaceful and refugees, you're just trying to survive. But I'm like, but you tried to kill her. It was like, what?
Well, didn't she try to kill them on their planet? And then she escaped somehow in one of their pods while everybody else pretty much escaped. Because I think they were trying to get information from her.
Yeah. They wanted to know where the Tesseract was, basically. Well, not really. You find out that they don't care. They know that the Tesseract is where the other people are hiding. And that's what he wants to get to his daughter and he wants to get to his family and friends. So he didn't care about the fucking Infinity Gem that was, in that same room, which I thought was pretty cool. I was like, oh, he was in there. But it was just like, I'm like, you just tried to kill her and now you're like, cover the girl's eyes. I was like, really? Like, I was like, okay. So
just throwing it out there, the best scene in that movie for me is when they're in the cabin. When he comes out, he has to shake, in his hand and stuff. And right before he revealed that he had the black box.
Oh yeah.
That whole scene, him is like, okay, we're a little bit edgy here.
Yeah.
That scene is funny as hell.
Yeah,
I love that scene.
Yeah, that whole moment is when they like the true story comes out, and that's when kind of starts getting up to the climax where like, oh, you find out the truth and stuff like that they're not the bad guys and all that cool stuff. And yeah, I like that part. I mean, like I said, Ben Mendelsohn is freaking amazing in everything he does. He's so freaking good. And I feel like, yeah, he just went from being like this serious character, running down in the secret base, and now he's like this cool, funny. He's like, listen, I did enjoy that. That whole scene was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was. That was my favorite scene.
Yeah. Yeah, the post credits were pretty cool. The post credits, the end credits were where the money was at. Because that's when she just like shows up like with. That's another thing. I was like, how did she get there so fast? Like, did she just teleport? Is that another power she has? Like, what the hell? Because you just don't sneak up on like Black Widow of all people. So so I'm like, what? But yeah, she just showed up and she looks like she saw some shit. Her hair was longer. Looked a little bit more like she didn't look older, obviously, but she, like her
she looked rugged, like she's been through hell.
Yeah, it's like she's obviously been through all these space. So I'm going forward, like it didn't make me more excited to see Endgame. But it was a good filler. But it didn't do anything. It didn't be like oh, I didn't know that, or oh, that's where this happened. It was just like all things where I was like, and I think that's what made it an average movie. It was somebody said it was a paint by numbers, and it was a paint by numbers Marvel movie. They didn't try anything risky. They went super safe with it. And I always said, at worst, Marvel always makes an okay, good movie, and that's for me. That's what they did here.
That's what they did. Okay. Well, speaking of Endgame, we are officially 4 to 6 weeks away.
Game comes out
26th
of April.
Oh yeah.
Holy crap balls. Yeah.
So basically, We got 1, 2,
weeks, I think.
yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, 6 weeks and 3 days.
Nice.
We should put a counter.
Yeah.
We should put a counter.
Endgame. Yeah, for sure. I'm going Thursday night. Like, as soon as they release tickets, I'm buying them for sure.
Yes, we must. I know I am. I already got that day off.
Excellent.
Actually, we got that day off.
Yeah.
So we're getting our stuff. Oh,
All right. Yeah. So
it's a fun. Can't wait. And let's discuss it like we did. What do we think is going to happen versus
yeah, we'll do a 2-parter.
how wrong we really were.
Yeah.
We're way off.
Yeah.
That's just off.
With
We're way off.
the last one. Yeah, this one's gonna have some cool twists and ties in it. I don't know. It's gonna be awesome. I can't wait. I cannot wait. But yeah, that's where you gave it a 4. I'm giving it a 2.5, 2.5 stars. Yeah, man. They didn't risk anything. It was a very unrisky movie.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman. They risked a lot of things. They risked her. I don't want to get into that, but they did risky things. This one they didn't. They were very very bland and paint by numbers, and they killed it. As they always do.
Yeah.
Although I thought this was better than Aquaman. And Aquaman was insanely popular.
Yeah. I have yet to see that one.
Really?
You wanted to talk about Stan Lee?
Oh yeah. So that'd be the last thing we'll talk about real quick.
Yeah.
Because we're coming up to an hour live.
Oof.
The beginning part. Yeah, they do the Marvel Studio logo in the beginning was all Stan Lee. And they usually do different characters. Dude, I almost cried. Like it was
amazing. Yes, it was touching.
Oh man, because for me, like Stan Lee was such a big person, like for me growing up, because I saw his cameos in the animated cartoons, growing up, I saw him in all these other movies, and then his cameo in this movie was him sitting on the train, and he was reading a script. He was reading Mallrats. And he was practicing his lines in that movie that he cameoed as himself. So the best part of this cameo was he wasn't a post office guy. He wasn't like anything, a security guard. He was Stan Lee. That cameo of Stan Lee was him playing himself, which was the best part. I thought that was cool. Like, if that's his last cameo, which I don't think it is. If that would be his last cameo, be perfect. It's like Stan Lee is so awesome. He plays himself as a cameo. I was like, that was.
So you said what you think it isn't, but do you think he's coming out in Endgame?
I think so. I remember I thought I saw something saying where Kevin Feige said they're running out of Stan Lee cameos to use. So I think he'll come out in Endgame one way or another.
Right.
After that, I don't know.
I just hope they're not going to change the Marvel logo anymore. Like the way they left it with Stan Lee instead of the actual heroes, I think they should leave it that way because Marvel is Stan Lee. Stan Lee is Marvel.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for him, we would not have all these great movies that we look forward to.
Yeah, definitely. They'll probably definitely keep it for Endgame. Like I'm almost 100% sure that they will. After that, I don't think so. I think they're gonna probably go back to their normal because even this one is new because it has the 10 on it for the 10-year anniversary.
Right.
So that would be cool if they do, but I don't see them keeping it too far in the future. Especially after they're done with like their cameos. Like he's not gonna be in the film anymore. I don't see them.
I just hope they do. Because it's awesome to see. Captain America, Hulk, Iron Man, and all that great, stuff. But like I said, Stan Lee is Stan Lee. Yeah. He's one of a kind. He's the one who gave these characters to life.
Yeah.
I
mean, if anything, I wouldn't mind have them flashing Hulk and Iron Man, and then flashing Stan Lee as well. That would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
So at least keep him in the swing of everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, hands down, my favorite cameo of Stan Lee out of the 21 Marvel movies and a couple dozen other stuff he's been in. This one's definitely the best. Definitely the best.
Yeah.
And then I watched the the cameo of him in Mallrats. Holy crap, he's so young. He still looks super old, but like not as old as he, not as frail. And it was like, just he's
yeah, yes, he's gonna be missed. He's gonna be missed big time.
Yeah,
big time.
But cool. That's about it, right?
Yes, sir.
Late night edition.
Late night. Yes.
I know. Gotta wake up. You gotta wake up early.
Yeah, I gotta wake up at 3:30, which is approximately 4 hours and 15 minutes from now.
Yeah, I got at least until 5.
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Good for you, Kerber. Good for you.
Those few extra hours. All right. So we're gonna finish that one up. So that is it for episode 18. Thank you guys for tuning in, and as always, you can check us out on all social media platforms at Did We Just Become Best Friends Podcast or DWJBBF Podcast. And don't forget to hit that sub button. One quick thing, we most likely will do another giveaway very, very soon, so stay tuned to that. Follow us on Twitter. We'll announce it on Twitter and Facebook for sure. And we're gonna start doing it on Twitch. So next week, whatever we talk about, we're gonna be on Twitch. So sub or no sub to us on there. You can't yet, but follow us on Twitch as well, and sub to us on YouTube. And you can give us a call at 872-225-2404. Let us know what you thought of Captain Marvel, and see you guys in the next episode.
Real quick before we sign off. Sorry, you got it?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. I have a prize I want to give away. I want to give away to the 10th caller with a question or comment using our number.
Okay.
So you people out there, call. I don't know, no more than one time, I guess. This is just spur of the moment, just out of the top of my head as we speak. I'll give away a prize. Leave a question or comment on our hotline number. So it's going to be a pretty cool prize. It's an MCU prize.
It's an MCU prize?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So a little secret Marvel prize. You can give us a call, the 10th caller, at 872-225-2404. 10th person to leave a message about us or the movie or anything.
Yeah, question or comment. That's all you got to do.
And then we'll get in contact with you about your prize.
Yeah.
So
leave a callback number.
Well, I think we get caller ID on that thingy.
Oh,
well, let's go private, but
okay.
Leave a number just in case. Just in case, like you said. So thank you guys for watching, and give us a call. So
Yep.
All right.
Have a great one, guys.
We'll see you guys in the next episode.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.